Hello and welcome to Morris Park. Today I'm in the greenhouse today just to show you a few things that are blooming at a time of year when we don't really get a lot of flowers in the greenhouse. But we got a few things going on here. This is my Vanda Orchid. And a strange plant it is because it doesn't really grow on anything. It just kind of grows. Keep it watered and it does its thing. It's looking real good today. It's in full flower. I think it's got maybe one more bud to go. Up there. Looking real good. Usually I just take this orchid and hang it out in one of the trees during summer. And the rain and the fog and stuff take care of watering it for the most part. If it gets too dry out, then I go by and just water it with the hose as I'm watering other things outdoors. I'm not a real big orchid guy or anything. I got a couple of them in here that are pretty hardy enough to stand a cactus and succulent greenhouse. This one seems to have done pretty good. Looking real nice today. Right over next to it, believe it or not, I've got this little Mamillary varfragilis. It's got a couple buds and flowers coming out on it. Still kind of growing around even though I haven't really watered it at all. Still doing pretty good. While its neighbor right there stays asleep. It's a Mamillary circulosa. But it's not doing anything right now like its partner is. This is my Mamillary Hanayana. And it seems to do this during the winter. It'll go ahead and just keep going on the flowers. It bloomed through most of the summer also. You can see a lot more buds getting ready to flower in there. I'd say this thing will bloom on through Christmas, possibly. But yeah, one of the other plants we have in the greenhouse that's giving us a couple of flowers. This is a little mini rose that we still have blooming. Most of our little mini roses kind of snipped them back and all, and cut a lot of the old dead flowers and scraggly growth off of them. But they're still continuing to bloom a few. As you can see, another one there. And we got another rose too. This is Deb's rose tree right here that we usually take out every summer. We've cut it back pretty good and we got a lot of new growth happening on it, as you can see. But it's got a few flowers going here and there. Still going. I'll have to wash this one. I'll probably have to spray it down with neem oil here pretty soon, along with some other things. This one seemed to attract spider mites real bad, and it had a bad case of them this summer. I don't see any right now, but you never know. Those little things are so tiny they can just hide anywhere. But we got some more buds happening there. So a few winter roses here, or late fall roses, I should say. This is my Jatropha Potogreica, also known as the Mexican torch lily. It is a member of the Euphorbia sea. And it's got some flowers going here. And this little flower head and a few more buds left to go. But as you can see, it's starting to go to sleep now. But they've been known to flower through in their sleep. You see down here in the center, it looks like still a little bit more growth going on down in the mirror stem right there. But yeah. Jatropha Potogreica, still going. Even a couple of our pelargonium geraniums here seem to be holding out to the last. A lot of times we just kind of break off all the scraggly growth and take it away, and then we just kind of stick them back in here. I kind of liked it when I was in California and you didn't have to mess with these things too much. They just kind of grew outside and grew into like little shrubs and so forth. But here you got to bring them in, and they're still persisting. Got a pink one over here. Still going. Still looking pretty good. Now up here, this is my Euphorbia Pulvenata. And it's one that tends to start blooming as it's going to sleep. As it nods off, it starts blooming. You can see the leaves are starting to yellow and they're starting to shrivel back. And it'll lose all these leaves. These leaves will just dry up. But it'll continue to flower actually while it's asleep. It's one of the few euphorbias I have that'll actually do that while they're in the rest period. Really like this plant. Especially during the leafy times. It's just so interesting. It almost looks like a gymnoclycium cactus with leaves. They're very cool. If I can get this to focus here on them flowers. Anyhow, just one of the other things in bloom. This is my Euphorbia Mili Loaf hybrid. These things are quite popular anymore. There's all kinds of them. This is the white one I picked up this summer at Wickman Gardens in Springfield, Missouri. Pretty nice one. It's been blooming for several months, actually since I got it back in the summer. And it hasn't really stopped. It's been a pretty good one. And this one, if you can see here, these tiny, teeny little flowers. It's also a Euphorbia Mili, but it's a different variation. It's a Euphorbia Mili var Imperator, and it's got the little teeny tiny flowers on it and tiny leaves. Grows more like a shrub. If you look at it here, it's kind of a round ball. And believe it or not, this plant is over 37 years old. Some little flowers down here. It's been blooming pretty steady. Quite a few months now. But still going. Some there. Just like the big ones, except just tiny, tiny flowers. This monodenium here, Guntheri, has a nice big head of flowers on it. Some of my monodeniums have been blooming, even as they are drying up for the winter. I think that's the only head on this one that actually is blooming. I'm not sure why exactly. It's just one. But it's just blooming away. It's got a nice little head of flowers going on there. One or two still on the Lugarde. As you can see there, little hooded flowers. A couple up there. So the monodeniums are getting their last flowering in. As well as this heteropodum. Monodenium heteropodum. It's not doing it on every branch, but a couple of these little ones down here. These long caterpillar ones that are hanging. All the way up there. Are the ones that are still blooming. So Haworthia retusa. And I've got some flower spikes coming up on it. Numerous other ones starting to come in. Seems to be this time of year for this one. So I guess I'll keep watering it a little bit. You can see a lot of fresh growth on it. It's really coming in, as well as some of these other Haworthias and aloes and such seem to be getting a little growth. So I'll kind of keep with them a little bit and have to be kind of careful. It doesn't get too cold in here while they're growing. Some of the ones up there are doing pretty good. This is the only one that's coming into bloom right now, I believe. And last but not least, this is our poinsettia from last year. We kind of kept it through and had it growing outside in the park during the summer. It did real well. See, the flowers are just starting to form. real good. This is kind of a first for us. We usually don't winter these things over because they're just so cheap and everything. And by the time Christmas is over, they've lost all their leaves just about and look pretty shabby. But we decided to keep this one on. It's looking pretty good. Anyhow, I just want to show you a few things that were blooming a little bit. Oh, the lemons are almost ready too. They're getting yellow, my big lemons. But anyhow, just wanted to show you these things that were blooming. Now this is my Schlumbergeras that are coming into full bud. I know from what I've been seeing out there that many of you actually have them a little farther along and actually even blooming. Now there's going to be 3 colors in this. You see the kind of magenta color that is so popular. Now over here, this one is going to be a yellow right here, and it's got quite a few buds starting it on it. Looking pretty good. A few of them are pretty small yet. I think I'm going to get some flowers by Christmas though for sure. And this one here, you see that one. Now this one over here, this reddish looking one, is an orange flowered one. And it's not got a whole lot on it. It's maybe got a couple tiny ones, maybe. Not too many. Well, I guess this one wasn't quite as happy as the others. I put them all together. There's like a little bitty one right there. Maybe it'll be a late bloomer. I think I see another one there. So I think this one's going to be a little later, maybe. All the little buds are still pretty small up in there. Sometimes you can look down in these little patches where the spines and stuff come out, kind of like an areole there, and see little buds coming out. But this one's kind of thin with the buds this year. I think it's going to be the yellow one and the magenta colored one that are really going to make the show this year. Whoop, a little spin there. This one's kind of interesting because of all the roots it put out. Look at all these roots. A whole lot of roots that came out of the bottom of this thing. Of course, a lot of epiphytic cacti will do that. Epiphyllums and stuff will do this also. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyhow, that's going to be my video for today. I just wanted to show you a few of the things that were blooming a little bit and starting to make a little flowering progress here in a time we don't have flowers. This is Clyde Morris of Morris Park. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.